we're going to start with the first key to a superstar career, and that is you have to be a $10 million employee. Well, what does that look like? Imagine this. Have you ever been on one of those puddle jumper airplanes, you know, somewhere between 20 and 50 passenger planes? Ever been in the middle of like a snowstorm at night? Is it scary? Oh yeah, because you know there's little kids, they're younger than you are flying the planes. See the way those things work, just imagine this. You're in a snowstorm, it's middle at night, there's lightning around, and it's just, and it's the turbulence is just rocking you back and forth, and you don't know what's going to happen. And there's two guys up there flying that plane. There's actually two of them. One of them will fly, then they take turns. One flies the plane while the other one works the radio and works the navigation and so forth. And the one pilot is absolutely the best pilot in the airline. He aced all of his FAA exams. I mean, this guy is the best pilot on the planet. Unfortunately for you, he's not flying the plane that night. The other guy is. This guy nearly flunked his FAA exam, missed flunking it by 1 point. When he does the practical flight thing with the FAA instructor and the FAA check ride guy, he nearly flunks that. This guy is the airline's most toxic employee. He's a $10 million liability employee. That superstar pilot, the one that aced all his exams, he's a $10 million asset employee. But the guy that's flying your plane that night, $10 million liability employee. And if he flies that airplane into a mountain and kills everybody on it, he's going to cost that airline $10 million if he costs it a dime. And that's why I say there's a difference between a $10 million asset employee and a $10 million liability employee. Now, are there any finance majors here? 3. Okay. Well, then you know probably better than anybody, every business has a balance sheet, right? And it has assets and it has liabilities. But every business also has what I call a hidden balance sheet of employee assets and employee liabilities. And which side of that balance sheet do you think you want to be on? Second thing you want to do is you want to find new and creative ways to add value to your employer. Don't walk in and perform to the job description and do what the job description says. Look around for ways that you can find ways to add value, new and creative ways, ways that haven't been thought of. You're in a perfect position. You get these old guys that are all experienced, you know, with the recession hangover and might be able to get a job, but you can't because of their quote-unquote experience. You have fresh perspective. You can walk into a place and say, you know what, I don't think you should do it this way. I think you should do it that way. Don't ever be afraid to do that. Always find new and creative ways to add value. Third, find problems and go solve them, even if they're not yours, especially if they're not yours. Go look around your companies when you get in there and say, here's a problem that needs solving, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and solve it. Don't wait for anybody to ask you to solve it. Just go solve it. In fact, the uglier and dirtier and nastier and unglamorous the problem is that you solve, the better off for you. Years ago, when I worked for Rockwell International, I'd solve problems from cafeterias that didn't serve food right to garbage that didn't get collected. All the stuff that nobody wanted to touch, I'd go touch it, and I'd go fix it. And after a while, they started giving me problems to fix. And two good things about that is, one is I got to know every part of a business over the course of a number of years. I got to know all kinds of parts of a business that weren't in my job description that I would have never been exposed to if I hadn't done that. And then secondly, when they started cutting out middle managers and laying people off, this is back in the 1980s, I didn't get laid off because I was too valuable. All the other guys, I knew everybody else's job because I'd been in there fixing things, and I was the only one that sort of survived when everyone else sort of got dumped. So you want to find problems out there and you want to go fix them. Now, the fourth is, be a yay-sayer, not a naysayer. There's so many, have you ever heard this? You probably hear it even in class. Somebody goes, oh, well, you know, we tried that once and it didn't work. Ever hear that? Or, you know, we can't do it that way. It's never been done that way before. Ever hear that before? Well, hey, buddy, just because you tried it doesn't mean, and it didn't work, doesn't mean I can't make it work. And business, I can tell you, is full of naysayers, full of people who go, well, we'll have to study that. Well, you know, we've tried it that way before. Well, you know, never done it that way. It doesn't mean we can't. Just never have, you know. I hate people like that. And so if you're automatically somebody who goes, yeah, we can, yeah, we will, as opposed to the no, we can't, your career is going to be just miles and miles ahead of anybody else.